let's go ahead. If everybody's ready. I'm not quite. But there we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This will be game number 2 between the Benis Breakers and the Vipers. On the bottom side of the map, wearing the blue health bars, will be the Benis Breakers, up 1-0 in the series. In the top lane, Senekin will be on the Darius. In the jungle, Savage to the B returning on the Zac. JV in the mid lane, making his repeat performance on the Swain. And then a new bot lane for Zildjian and Mystic Thunder. They're going to be playing Jinx and Morgana. And on the top side of the map, wearing the red health bars this game, are going to be the Vipers. In the top lane, Baka Pro on the Dr. Mundo. Fiorix in the jungle will be playing Olaf. I'm a gay robot in mid, making a return appearance on the Vel'Koz. And then the Revan Christ and Droopy the Clown will be on Kai'Sa and Rakan. I like this draft a lot better from Vipers. I think putting Baka Pro on a tank that he can farm on is a really great adaptation. Fiorix's Olaf seems like a pretty good pick for him. We saw him do really well on the I believe it was the Kayn that he did super well on the first week. And then Revan Christ's Kai'Sa has been very, very good. Played it in their game win as well as one of the losses last week, but I was super impressed with Revan Christ's Kai'Sa, so I really like that draft. On the other side, it's pretty much more the same from Benis Breakers. Senekin's on that top lane carry, Savage to the B is even on the same Zac. You have the same Swain in the mid lane. Zildjian and Mystic Thunder have a little bit better scaling, better pushing bot lane. So we'll have to see if they can get an early lead on the shorter range Kai'Sa and Rakan combo. Both junglers starting on the bottom side of the map this time. I hope that we don't see that same level 2 play from Savage to the B. I know that the Scuttles feel super valuable right now, but it's not worth giving up your life as a Zac early on. Although I guess it wasn't a life, it was just some damage. Also, the Clash banners spawning out of the corner of your eye still bother me. I don't know why they have kept that at the same time. Fiorix is bottom. He's level 2, throws the axe down, not able to connect, and will just be forced away. That kind of sucks. I'm still adjusting to the new jungle, but 3 camps and still being level 2 feels pretty bad. Not that level 3 would have made much of a difference on that gank. It just still running into level 2 there rather than level 3 on the same number of camps. Revan Christ is actually running bone plating, it looks like, secondary on the Kai'Sa. Really worried about the trades coming out of the Morgana Jinx combo. Zildjian meanwhile has lethal tempo on the Jinx, which is something I haven't seen or even really seen experimented with on most AD carries, so I'm interested to see if he can really make use of that keystone. This is going to be a rough lane for a little while for Dr. Mundo, and then eventually he'll just be unkillable, so... Granted, the dunk is actually really good against Dr. Mundo. The free true damage means that if you can burst him low and have him mistime his ult, you can get that pretty easy dunk in the lane. Ultimately, I think it's a little bit Mundo favored later on, but we'll have to see if Senekin can get a similar advantage to what he had in game number 1. Dark Binding doesn't land from Mystic Thunder, just some trading back here. This game seems a little bit more, I don't want to say passive, but teams now have a feel for each other and know where to be passive, where to be aggressive across the map. Kind of a thing that you see in most best of series. Mystic Thunder goes ahead and lands that Dark Binding. Decent trade back. Yeah, I'm interested to see. We're seeing first backs now coming out of some junglers. Oh, Dark Binding lands, connects onto Revan Christ. Groupie not able to land the Grand Entrance, so won't be able to follow that up. Decent trade for Mima Gay Robot in the mid lane. This is the same matchup that we saw last game. We saw it be pretty even through most of the game, with JV eventually able to snowball ahead on... it was really just one kill in that mid lane. So I think Gay Robot's feeling relatively comfortable. As long as he can play safe and respect the Zac dive in, he'll feel okay. Fjord's not able to land the undertow. But Savage to the B is here. He hits level 4 off the one minion dying. Pulls in Fjorix. He's taken super low. Pops the Ghost. Trying to run away, but the flash forward from Savage to the B will secure first blood for the Zac. That little engagement, I don't want to say it came out of nowhere, but Savage to the B with really good awareness to jump in, abandon his Raptors, and make good use of that. Senekin lands the Noxian... No. Decimate? No. I don't know. I don't know my ability names. It is Decimate. Okay. Lands the outer ring of that Decimate. Of course, the Darius heals off that outer ring, but not on the inner ring. So normally, champions good against him are good at diving into that ring, making sure he doesn't get that free healing off. Mundo, not particularly good at diving into it, as a side note. But right now, you see the CS difference in top lane, about a 20 CS lead for the Darius, matched only by the 20 CS lead in the bottom lane right now for Revenchrist. Really good pressure coming out of the Kai'Sa Rakan combo. Not usually what you would expect to see at this point. Senekin gets pulled in, the Noxian Guillotine available, going to force the flash away. Baka Pro should be able to stay in lane, I believe, as long as he can stop that bleed from hurting him. Yeah. Looks like he's not dead. He won't die immediately to a guillotine. Should be able to get a little bit more farm, but definitely has to respect that potential from Senekin. But now first backs coming through. The Vamp Scepter plus a long sword for Revenchrist. I'm wondering if we're going to see that Death Stance first. Droopy to Clown walks through. Ooh, Dark Binding doesn't connect. That would have been pretty devastating had it connected. Right now, Fjorix is actually on the other side of the map. We're going to watch Baka Pro get pulled in. The Decimate lands from Senekin. Not able to pull the trigger on the Noxian Guillotine again. I don't think it would kill in that situation, but it's definitely a threat. Baka Pro's health regen is pretty good, though, so he's able still to stick around in that lane and keep his farm up. JV going to pull in I'm a Gay Robot, get that trait back, but a nice Vel'Koz is going to go ahead and pop him in the air. Mystic Thunder lands a Dark Binding through the minions. Droopy gets taken relatively low. Mystic Thunder takes a chunk from the passive. Both junglers are here as well. Savage to the beat jumps in, able to grab one, smacks two together. Zildjian is on the wrong side of this fight, though, and he's going to get taken down. Teleport being channeled from JV now as Fjorix not going to be able to get out of there. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of the Benis Breakers. Baka Pro shouldn't have completed that, I don't think. I'm a Gay Robot is here, going to go ahead and laser down one. Can he get any more? Jump away from Savage to the B, and now going to go ahead and abduct Revenchrist for the kill. Another teleport coming through as Senekin just making sure that Baka Pro and I'm a Gay Robot can't re-engage. That Lifeform Disintegration rate did pick up one. It's a 3-for-1 so far. Now, Senekin gets knocked in the air, takes a lot of damage, but Baka Pro didn't have the health regen, didn't have the ultimate available, so is going to get taken down as well. It's 5-2 now in favor of the Benis Breakers on the extended bot lane play. The really extended bot lane play, I should say, now as Droopy's able to rejoin the fray, essentially, after being the first one to fall. Doesn't connect onto Senekin. They are going to give him a little bit of the bounce house, but I don't think Gay Robot and Droopy have the damage just yet to be able to finish that one off. Revenchrist hit 6 right at the end of that fight, I believe, as he was being abducted, so wasn't able to use the dash and the shield up from the Kai'Sa ult to save himself. The power off of that play isn't exactly where you would want it, though, from the Benis Breakers. It's all of those kills, well, almost all of them went onto the Zac. He's sitting at 3-0-1, has the cooldown reduction boots, and now Zildjian, that's a nice black shield to actually prevent the charm coming through. Revenchrist gets a huge chunk on Zildjian, but not going to be anything permanent there. I'm a Gay Robot just trying to disengage with the... I need to figure out the name of that. The Tectonic That's a stupid name. All right. The Tectonic Disruption. Some of the names are really cool of the abilities, and I don't mind saying them, and some of them are Tectonic Disruption. I'm not going to remember that. JV now, caught just a little bit. Fjorix comes in, has the red buff ticking. JV forced to pop the Demonic Ascension, but the laser just burning through him. Fjorix, though, takes too many tower shots, and it's going to go down in the trade. So it's a one for one with the kill going on to the Olaf. Probably not the ideal situation there. And now it's 6-3 in favor of Benis Breakers. Just a little over 1,000 gold lead as well. Neither team has shown any priority so far on that Ocean Dragon. Baka Pro and Senekin gonna go ahead and have a scrap. But once again, the top side of the map doing really well for Benis Breakers. The bottom side hanging in there and slightly ahead even for Vipers. Damage coming through from Revan Christ. Not able to get that passive proc though. He lagged, if I recall. It did kind of look like that. Just it was like a stutter step under the tower almost. Whatever it was pretty unfortunate for Fjorix there, because it was a good gank and they got it off pretty cleanly. It just the 2 extra tower shots. Get those get wrecked emotes out of here, Scrambles. Now the dragon under fire. Fjorix goes ahead and scouted out by the evil eye from JV. Ooh, a good sidestep on the Tectonic Disruption. Savage to the beat, jumps in, not able to secure it. The Super Mega Death Rocket chunks some damage, but not able to finish anything off. Savage to the beat tries to abduct, does get his passive pop. The Lifeform Disintegration Ray doing so much damage back on the backside of that, though. I'm a Gay Robot picks up 1, now trying to chase down JV. Savage to the Beast back out of his passive, though. Can he land? Lands the Plasma Fission. Isn't going to be able to follow anything up. I believe that's a 2 for 1. It is. Actually in favor of the Benis Breakers. The Zac passive was popped. Feels like a kill. Isn't, though. And Senekin and Baka Pro still on their little island up here. It's a 40 CS lead right now for the Benis Breakers. Still have yet to see the first tower go down as well. You could probably swap some members up to the top lane if you're Benis Breakers and take this top tower relatively easily. Especially with the dragon down. The Ocean Dragon really going to help out Baka Pro in this lane as Darius just hanging out in the bush, making sure that Baka doesn't feel super comfortable going up. Dark Binding lands onto Revan Christ. Predator popped, and here comes Olaf. Fjorix comes in, Undertow connects onto Mystic Thunder, but it has the Black Shield available, so it doesn't get slowed up by it. Does get the flash anyway. Really respectful there from Mystic Thunder. Zac is in the area. Both of these junglers have been marking each other pretty well. It seems like the counter ganking this game has been pretty strong, especially from the Zac, but Olaf as well has done a pretty good job. Baka Pro flashes away from that. I mean, definitely not necessary there, but you can see the pressure that he's under here in the top lane. The directed camera is giving me whiplash. Keeps going bottom, top, bottom, top. Just decide on something. I'm a Gay Robot's roaming up to top lane, maybe to try to relieve some of this pressure on Baka Pro. I mean, it's successful even if they only get the pink ward. It's gonna force Senekin. It doesn't force him to back, but signals, hey, I don't really want to stick around right now and helps relieve that pressure. I like that move quite a bit from the Vel'Koz. And right now hanging in. At this point last game we were at about a 10,000 gold lead. Right now we're sitting at a little over 1,000 for Benis Breakers. So better early game from Vipers, and a lot of that pressure has been mitigated. And Gay Robot, rather than being like 0-3 at this point, 2-0 on the Vel'Koz. Revan Christ feeling pretty good as well. I want to see them continue scaling in this game. Now Zildjian. Oh, gets popped through the black shield. Dash in from Revan Christ, gonna finish it off with an auto attack. Fjorix is here as both. Oh, that was a double teleport from Benis Breakers as both of them come through. Demonic Ascension doing quite a bit of damage as the focus should be on the top side of the fight. Droopy's gonna flash away from Senekin. Zac is here as well. This is a 4v5 without Vel'Koz. Revan Christ is in a lot of trouble as Senekin takes him down with the Decimate. Baka Pro now ticking down, still has the ultimate, trying to heal him back up. Just don't quite have the damage to finish off the Dr. Mundo. That's a pretty extended 1-for-1 though, and a little bit of an extra push now from Benis Breakers. Dark Binding lands, but nothing to follow up on. Get foul. The Mega Death Rocket actually connects with Dr. Mundo in base. That was pretty funny. That's the first tower of the game. That's an important moment. That looks good. Gay Robot able to salvage that at least. Gets the first tower, gets the solo gold for himself as well. And that means that we're pretty much even in gold count until this mid push, I imagine. Never Move connects onto Gay Robot, able to pull him in. Forces the stopwatch. Lifeform Disintegration Ray comes through. JV's taken super low, but not out. And Zildjian picks up a kill on the Jinx. I'm not a fan of the Runan's Hurricane Rush. Yeah, I see people talking in the chat about it. There's no damage behind it. There's a lot of attack speed, but when you're not outputting any damage, it doesn't really matter how much attack speed you have. Meanwhile, Revan Christ has the Death's Dance finished up. Looks like headed toward the Rage Blade as well. Baka Pro actually trading pretty well so far. Well, until the dunk comes through. That's a bit yikes. Yeah, in that matchup as Mundo, you need to pop your ult way earlier than you think you need to. Otherwise, you just get dunked on. Plus, your ult costs a bunch of health. That's kind of tough. The trade actually looked okay for just a second. But now Savage to the B and Senekin both here. Towers falling across the map. That's 2 now in favor of Benis Breakers, and this might be a third. Again, no damage here on the Jinx, but it is going down. Now Droopy and Revan Christ are here in bottom lane. They were trying to catch out Zildjian and Mystic Thunder, but not able to find anything.
Just because.
I forgot I have that on. Thank you for the Bibs corn muscles. I appreciate it. That's a very manly voice that I have for the text-to-speech. I need to fix that. That's the second Ocean Dragon going over to Vipers. That should hopefully help Baka Pro stabilize a little bit in the top lane. I see talk in the chat about the Spectre's Cowl. Not the best item to rush against a Darius. It's an item that he wants. You really want the Spirit Visage. But in this matchup, I don't think you can afford to get it super early. Need to finish that Sunfire Cape first. And Senekin's found him again. Flash away from Baka Pro. He's going to get apprehended. Back in. Pops the ultimate. That's a proper ult timing from Baka Pro. JV has walked in again.
Fuck you, Korn.
Now JV's going to get charmed up by Droopy the Clown. Lifeform Disintegration Ray coming through. Grabs a little bit of free damage there. And now a bunch of members have rejoined. Savage to the B has joined as well. Double kill on the back end of that for Senekin. Fjords is back behind this fight. I don't think this is exactly where he wants to be. Should pick up... Oh, not going to pick up one. Actually, the Void Seeker from Kaisa from the outside picks up the kill for Vipers. But now Revan Christ forced to run away. All 4 members of his team are dead. That was a pretty messy fight. We saw members joining one by one, and no real definite battle lines being set. It meant that Reverend Christ couldn't feel comfortable jumping in at any point. Now the red side of this jungle just going to go over 2 Benis Breakers. And it's rough. All that work that that Vipers put in, clawing their way back into the game, is kind of negated. Now it's back to a 4,000 gold lead for the Benis Breakers. I'm gonna have to
Anytime,
turn
my
off.
lovely winged.
I think I'm gonna have to turn off the bit donations while I'm casting these games. A little bit distracting. I really appreciate the bits, but I think we're ruining the mood of the game. Or at least I'll turn off the text to speech. Makes a little bit more sense than everything else. But thank you guys for the small bit donations. Zildjian now trying to lane against Baka Pro, and he finally has some damage. Has the pickaxe and the BF sword, and you can see the difference in the damage from earlier. Able to chunk through Baka Pro. Has the 2 Ocean Dragons as well as the Spirit Visage, so should regen that up in relatively quick fashion. Voidseeker connects. I don't know that they're aware that this is just Jinx and Morgana. They see Senekin on the bottom side, and teleports are available, but I like this rotation from the Vipers. Oh, but here it comes. The teleport coming in from Senekin means that this might be a bit of a rough spot now for Vipers. Savage to the B is here. He's going to land. Huge knock-up onto 3. Abducts 2 back into his team. JV picks up 1 from the side. Already 3 members have fallen. Baka Pro in retreat as well. The double kill going over to JV. And Senekin will finish that one off with the Noxian Guillotine. Now they're looking at Baron. The jungler from Vipers is alive. It's Furex, doesn't have Flash on that Olaf, only has Ghost. We'll see if he can get a lucky undertow or something like that for the steal. But Senekin and JV are having exactly none of that. The Australia's Reverie popped from JV just to try it. Oh! We were talking about this Baron damage. How long ago? There's the execution on the Mystic Thunder as Baron picks up his first victim of the game. And Senekin and JV running back to try to stop the Baron means that they're not able to finish it off. Had they had Senekin available, certainly would have been a Baron over to them. I think you just send JV out there to zone Fiorix, if you even need to do that. That's a tough one. I think we have a count. I think that's 5 deaths now to neutral objectives so far this season. Reverend Christ in a bit of trouble, gets never moved and pulled in. Zildjian gonna pick up his 2nd kill of the game, has the Infinity Edge now on the Jinx. Looking much better on that 2-item spike than he did on the 1-item not spike. Sold his Doran's Blade though. Kind of interested in that, or if he had a shield. I think it was a blade though. Next dragon up in 30 seconds. It's a spicy dragon, so a lot of importance on that one. Looks like Benis Breakers should have it relatively cleanly. There's only this one pink word just kind of hanging out over in the side bush that appears to be going unnoticed. Senekin pulls in Baka Pro, lands the Decimate. Now we have a fight over the blue buff, though, as they're catching on to JV and Savage to the B. JV looks like he wants this fight, even though the rest of his team really doesn't. They pull in Revan Christ. Gets chunked out really low. Fiorix is here, pops the Righteous Glory, trying to re-engage. JV doesn't have the ultimate available now, as he's already burned it, and Fiorix will pick up a kill. A little bit of an overextension there from JV, feeling a lot stronger than he was at that exact moment. Baka Pro just trying to get that farm. And now the Infernal Dragon for Vipers. Is this a turning point of the game? The Super Mega Death Rocket comes through. The Dragon's secured by Fiorix off screen for some reason because we're watching Baka Pro get a couple of auto attacks chained down from Senekin. Not able to get that Noxian Guillotine down, and the tower should be enough to ward off Senekin. It's only a 1 level advantage, weirdly enough, as dominant as Senekin has been. Baka Pro has found Senekin again, just trying to recall in that bush. I don't know that he actually wanted to finish it off, but I don't like Baka having the W on constantly. That seems, well, actually here come all 5 members to collapse. This should be a kill regardless. It's just a matter of how they get it. Senekin gets collapsed on. Who are they going to give the kill over to? Oh, that's a lot of healing from the Decimate, though. Walking through tower, just trying to mitigate the amount of assists. And Droopy, oh. Droopy is not the one who wanted to wind up with that kill. I think anybody other than that would have been ideal, but... yeah, also the Athene's Unholy Grail is a really interesting decision on the Rakan pick. I don't know that I like that item in particular. I really don't like the item at all, just in general, but yeah, not really sure about that one. They're going to catch Mystic Thunder. This is actually a decent sequence of events right now for Vipers as they pick up a second kill. That one goes on to Fiorix. I need to figure out where to move my cursor so that we stop getting the tooltip. Sorry, guys. But that's 2 picks right in a row, and they're going to get they got the Infernal Dragon, they've got a push going. They actually have much better dragon control than Benis Breakers have had all series. That's 3 dragons this game. I believe they had 1 last game as well for Vipers, and none so far for Benis Breakers. So they've clawed it back. It's about a 3,000 gold lead, which is consistent with, I believe, the last time we checked in with it, which means that's good. The more gold you have, the less that deficit matters. There's a more Rakan item. We have the Zeke's Harbinger picked up for Rakan. Zanya's Hourglass finished up now for I'm a Gay Robot. Just kind of rechecking in on the items. I know they've had some of these recently. But yeah, the builds starting to come together, starting to even out just a little bit. I don't see anything super huge, although the Warmogs is finished up for Savage to the B, and I believe he's got enough health to actually proc it. He does. He's actually got more health than Dr. Mundo right now, interestingly enough. Baka Pro likes walking around with that W on. It's not a lot of damage, but it is some damage. I see some discussion about item builds in chats. Vel'Koz should have the Banshees rather than the Zanyas. Oh, the Shurelya's is going to be popping. Looks like we're going to get a full fight here, full 5v5. Droopy's going to pick up the first kill. Fiorix is forced back away. Does get picked up. The Blast Cone, not really helpful for Vipers now, as I'm a Gay Robot gets knocked over the wall. Double kill now for Jinx, and it's just the Vel'Koz left alive. Revan Christ dashed right into the middle of that fight and got taken down in pretty short order. Normally we've seen him have really good awareness on that Kai'Sa ult, but that one wasn't ideal. And the Blast Cone actually, I believe, knocked I'm a Gay Robot out of his ultimate. It did get him out to safety, but it's still not exactly where he wanted to be at the end of that. So it'll be a 4-for-1 in favor of the Benis Breakers, and they'll get the free mid lane push as the inner turret falls. (24-11) is going to be the kill count just now. Gold lead extended by about 2,000 off of that fight, so Benis Breakers should be feeling pretty good. I don't want to see them go for Baron again. We saw what happened last game with that. That objective has been the death of a lot of teams so far this split. Baka Pro now going to wander into enemy territory. They've actually stopped the recall of Senekin. This might be a pick onto him. Going to go ahead and apprehend the Kaisa in and going to try to trade one back, but the bouncy castle too much as Revenchrist picks up his 5th kill of the game. I'm interested in this this Kaisa build. I don't know about the Blade of the Ruin King 3rd on Kaisa. That means that there's still no Q evolution, as far as I know. It should just barely get it. You have to get the full bilge water, though, I think. I don't know if I'm mathing that correctly. Someone in chat probably knows better than I do. Regardless, the Blade of the Ruin King is going to help him chunk through the Zac. I don't know that that's the biggest issue they've been having, but we'll see. The inner tower going to go down now. This is a nice counter push off of the pick that they got. Now Viper's headed back toward that dragon. What flavor do we have? It's another Thirsty Boy. Not exactly the prized objective at this point, 31 minutes into the game, and in fact might be a little bit of a bait. Senekin has the teleport available if they can get a ward in for him, but it's going to go down so fast. The Kaisa good at chunking through it. So they'll get away with their 4th dragon of the game, against the run of play, essentially. And there's pings on the Baron. Here we go, Baron round number 2. Last time it claimed the life of Morgana. They're all coming in at full health this time. I don't think they should have the same issue. And it doesn't look like it's... they've got to be aware. They have the Scuttle Crab. Well, they had the Scuttle Crab. But they're just not responding. Yeah, so that's a Baron over to the Benis Breakers. That's a macro mistake. That's a costly macro mistake from Vipers. They knew the Baron was on the table, and they should have even had wards over there to spot it. I don't know about that, but regardless, that's a good call by the Benis Breakers, as they're able to pull that one off. And now we have Baron, so we're going to go straight into our own jungle and take some jungle camps. And then recall again. So Jinx with the 4th item finished up. It is the Mortal Reminder. That's going to really help chunk through the Dr. Mundo. Mundo, for his part, not getting super tanky just yet. Yeah, that 3rd item has been super delayed. It looks like it's going to be the Warmogs eventually, maybe. But it's difficult. The Mundo has not been getting funneled a whole lot of farm at this point. And you see just the one auto from Zildjian taking out a pretty decent chunk of health from Baka Pro. Means that these engagements really need to pick out Jinx early. I've been waiting for one of these teams to actually make a macro decision, and it just doesn't seem like it's happening. So right now what we're seeing is everything kind of stalling out. Benis Breakers need to put a push in top or bottom, and instead are just sitting in mid lane and not really getting anything accomplished, and wasting their own Baron buff. It's difficult with some of these teams. Oh, Drupita Clown thinks he's found one. Picks Mystic Thunder out, and both supports are dead. Right at the start of this, Baka Pro and Zildjian fighting on one side of the fight, the 2v2 on the other. The Abduct coming through grabs Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz flashes through. They're able to finally finish off the Jinx, but not before losing 3 members of their team to her. Fiorix is the only man alive for the Vipers, and now Benis Breakers have the clear push in mid. So I guess why make a macro decision when the enemy team will force an engagement on you? Might as well. Inhibitor going to go down. That's the first inhibitor of the game, going down at 34 minutes. They're going to pull in Fiorix. but not going to get a whole lot more. Rotation to top lane, I like this one. They have a wave here, they have Baron still. And that'll be the 6th tower of the game in favor of the Benis Breakers. And now an 8,000 gold lead that they've stretched out. So now you have that pushing, the pushing super minions in mid. So you want to rotate to mid lane. No, you want to go bot or top. Ideally, you're going to go to bottom lane because you have the extra tower there if you're the Benis Breakers. But they need to continue forcing their macro down. Otherwise, I mean, there's a world. Ooh, they're going to catch Zildjian though, and I'm a gay robot. I'll pick it up with the Lifeform Disintegration Ray. Savage to the beat jumps in. I don't think that that's the fight that they want. Now Senekin and Baka Pro just scrapping up in the top lane. They force out Dr. Mundo's ultimate. Olaf wants the fight. Pops the Ragnarok, trying to run in. Doesn't land the undertow to slow anybody up. A lot of ultimates blown. This is a pretty sloppy little engagement so far. But the pick going over to Vipers means that they can have their choice of pushes. And the Elder Dragon will spawn here in 23, Barons in 2 minutes. So those are the big objectives that we're looking to see if Benis Breakers can get to close the game or if Vipers can get to extend it. They're waiting around. I don't know that waiting around is the best. Zildjian's going to be alive. He probably won't be able to join until the very end of the fight if it breaks out. But they might have enough power for V5. Mystic Thunder pops the locket really early. Super Mega Death Rocket comes through, not able to connect on anybody, but it forces them to deleash the dragon. They spend all that time setting up for the dragon and then immediately back off to deal with the mid-wave. And this would almost be a denial from Benis Breakers if they can get the dragon. There's 4 elemental drakes on the side of Vipers and none on the side of Benis. So it's not the objective that they necessarily want, but they really don't want to give it over because that's a lot of power that you would be giving to a team that you have almost closed out. Baron spawning in 45, I'm wondering if they're just going to try to stall out long enough to just trade them straight up, and then that would be an interesting scenario that we'd have. Vipers pokes in. They don't see anyone hovering around the Elder Dragon. They also didn't leave any vision. Now they've left some vision. Fioric's backing me up as soon as I say something. Jinx is now full build. Has the Bloodthirster is the last item to cap off the build. Right now, just 5 items. I don't like the lack of pink words from everybody in this entire game. Right now, no one actually has one in their inventory. Currently, everybody buy pink words. They're very good. And now just a little bit of a tense moment here in this game. Vipers knows that if they lose a team fight, they likely lose the game, whereas Benis Breakers just seem really... I don't want to say they're really timid. They went for the throat really well in Game 1. They closed that game out super fast, super well. But right now they seem, I don't want to say a little shook. They've won every 5v5 fight, so I don't know why they wouldn't just group up and try to do that. Baka Pro's going to get caught, lands the Dark Binding into the Flame Choppers. They're going to pull him in as well. Not able to finish it off, though. They force him out. He still has the masochism popping. So we'll heal that back up. There's 5 members here. Droopy goes in, tries to initiate on JV, gonna force the ultimate out. Right now, Zildjian is a big man. He's doing so much damage on that Jinx. There's the double kill. Triple kill should be picked up. No, it's not gonna go over to him. But that's 4 members dead. I'm a gay robot, the only one left alive, and he's busy trying to deal with Darius right now. That's gonna be the Infernal Dragon going over to the Benis Breakers. That fight was not what Vipers wanted. Immediately they're calling for the Baron. Teleport actually coming into top lane from JV. I'm wondering what the communication is right now, because they're set up for a 1-3-1. I guess they have the Jinx for damage and the Zac to tank, so they should be able to get the Baron. But that's going to be 2 inhibitors going, well, it's just the tower so far. JV trying to fight with I'm a gay robot. Senekin's here. He should be able to finish up the kill, apprehends him. JV actually picks it up, knocks him out of the Noxian Guillotine. Baron goes over on the other side of the map. A little bit of split objective focus, but they're going to get 2 inhibitors, the Baron and the Infernal Dragon off of it. And now the last vestiges of the base left alive for the Vipers. We'll have to see if they can make a dramatic last stand here, or if the final items coming through from the Benis Breakers are going to be too much. That's the 6th item for Darius, is the Guardian Angel. Almost full build now for the Zac as well. Swain has a full build. Like it's almost across the board that Benis Breakers are finishing up, whereas there's still one more slot available for Vipers. So the difference between the 2 teams is not huge right now. It's not insignificant, but it's not gigantic except for these neutral buffs. And once again, Benis Breakers are grouped up in mid lane. So right now there's 2 free towers in bottom lane. If you're Benis Breakers, they should just go get those. But instead they've just continued to hover around in the same lanes that they've already pushed in. So I guess we'll see. They're going to gain entrance to the base and maybe be able to get some damage on the Nexus turrets here. They're just looking, I guess, for a quicker end rather than the by the books end. Senekin coming in from the side, forces a flash in from JV, not able to land the never move. Droopy goes in and initiates, hits some with the grand entrance, but Zildjian is untouched in the back. That's a huge Lifeform Disintegration Ray, but it's not going to be enough as he's abducted and killed by the Bird Bomb. Fiorix is late to arrive to the fight, and Revan Christ and Baka just trying to deal with Darius on the backside of that. They are able to fend him off. It's a 3 for 2 so far. Baka's pretty tanky, but I don't think he's tanky enough to win this game. Revan Christ coming in. They're trying to save the game. Zildjian just firing away onto the Kaisa. Will pick up the double kill to end the game. So Benis Breakers take the 2-0. Not the cleanest 2-0 by any means, and the score looks pretty deceptive. I think that there's a lot of macro to work on for Benis Breakers, but their individual performances were very good across the board. I think that they need to clean up that macro game quite a bit. You heard me talk about it throughout, but regardless, game MVP. That's a rough one. I'm seeing 3 members that deserve it for Benis Breakers. I think I go Zildjian for the game, and Savage to the B for the series. I think that's where I'm gonna go. Would be interested to see what you guys think in chat about that, about our MVPs for it. I'm gonna give a shout out to Vipers. They have some semblance of really good things happening. It's just tough. They really need to play around Revan Christ in Gay Robot. Their mid and their AD carry are their 2 bright spots for the team. If they can get them ahead in an early game, I think that they have an opportunity then to close out. Baka Pro's doing a good enough job not giving up everything in top lane, holding on to turrets, keeping up in CS, making sure that he's at least somewhat useful later on. But I think that you need to focus on getting mid and AD carry ahead. On the other side, again, Venus Breakers played really well this series, clean up the macro play a little bit, and I think that they can start. They have a puncher's chance against some of the top teams in the league. JV also looked really strong this series. I he's one of the ones I was debating for the game, but I think we're gonna go Zildjian for the game and Savage to the B for the series. Senekin was the MVP of game number one, so splitting everything up for the Venus Breakers. That'll do it here for this series. If you want me to cast any of your solo queue games or any games in general, email them to meristematic@gmail.com or send them to me on Discord. Doesn't matter to me how I get them, but I'm always looking for things to cast. Uh, Assuming that there's no issue with it, I'll continue doing these gold streams as well, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys for week 3. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Corn Muscles and Wing Nation, for the bit donations. Thank you to oh god, I don't remember. Thank you, Scrambles, for the follow. Um, yeah, we'll see you guys next week.